We do not want our streets militarized by our own armed forces, not in LA, not in California, not anywhere. The rule of law has increasingly been given way to the rule of Don.
Right now at 11 o'clock, a rare evening address by Governor Newsom. He spoke directly to Californians and people across the country amid the growing uproar over President Trump's immigration operations. As the political showdown continues, so do the demonstrations. This is a live look now from our NBC Sky Ranger in LA, where protesters have gathered for a fifth straight night. We haven't seen too much destruction or vandalism at this point, but you can see a large police presence there in Los Angeles. It's happening here in the Bay Area as well. This is new video from Oakland, looting and vandalism in one specific street. All eyes are on California right now.
We are following several developments at this hour. We begin with that address by the governor that took aim at President Trump, his remarks designed for a national audience. Here's NBC Bay Area's Jocelyn Moran.
What's happening right now is very different than anything we've seen before.
Tonight, Governor Gavin Newsom calling out President Trump's immigration operations that have hit communities hard in Los Angeles.
We're seeing unmarked cars in school parking lots, kids afraid of attending their own graduation. Donald Trump's government isn't protecting our communities. They're traumatizing our communities. And that seems to be the entire point.
Following raids in LA, protesters have hit the streets. President Trump over the last few days deploying thousands of National Guard troops and 700 Marines.
He again chose escalation. He chose more force. He chose theatrics over public safety.
Today, while on the tarmac at Joint Base Andrews, the president stood by his decision to deploy Marines.
It can only go right by having the military de-escalate. I mean, that was the only way. These people are agitators. They're troublemakers.
He was also asked what the rules of engagement are for the Marines deployed.
If they're throwing concrete or bricks, if they're spitting in the face of the police or whoever's in front of them, if they're punching people, if they're doing all of the things that you see done for the last 3 nights, that I would say is engagement. We need to keep our city straight. I want to save Los Angeles. And Newsom is totally incompetent.
While daytime protests have been largely peaceful, they've been followed by violence at night.
If you exercise your First Amendment rights, please, please do it peacefully.
San Jose State political science adjunct professor Donna Crane says Newsom needed to hit the right note tonight in terms of policy and politics.
He needed to hit a space where he was vocal in defense of protest, but also lay down the line against violence.
She also believes this conflict was inevitable.
The forces have been moving toward this day by day since President Trump took office in the second term. It happened to have occurred in Los Angeles, but it just as easily could have happened in San Francisco or San Jose.
Jocelyn Moran, NBC Bay Area News.
Now, Governor Newsom is urging calm in the streets, not behavior like this. This is new video from Oakland, 34th and International this evening. Not armed with protest signs, armed with sledgehammers. You see people breaking into a store, then making off with armfuls of clothing. A car nearby also set on fire. We do have calls out to OPD to learn more about the damage done and to see if any arrests have been made. And then there was peaceful demonstrations around the corner from that Oakland store earlier this evening, where hundreds of people came together for a prayer vigil amid the turmoil and the uncertainty. They expect to hold more of these protests in the coming weeks. Here's NBC Bay Area's Suratos.
We pray in this afternoon, in this moment.
Faith leaders and community groups across the Bay Area coming together for an interfaith vigil, discussing the importance of unity as tensions continue to rise on the issue of federal immigration enforcement.
Now we rise up to say, not in our name.
Organizers believe the issue is reaching a fever pitch with the ongoing protests taking place in Los Angeles.
The idea that ICE and the military have been escalating things in Los Angeles, we felt it was very important to have something in the Bay Area for the community to come together and to show immigrants and their families that we support them.
I wish I was there. I wish I was out there helping and supporting as much as possible.
Johanna from Oakland says the immigration protests in Los Angeles are hitting close to home. She says family members have been on the front lines protesting in LA, and her husband was deported 10 years ago. Tonight, she's finally feeling a sense of community in the Bay Area.
We care about our roots. We are proud of our roots, and this is why, although people are saying, don't raise your flag, we're proud of our flag, and we're going to show support of where we're from.
Alameda County Supervisor Nikki Fortunato-Bas was also here tonight and talked about the legal resources available to immigrant communities.
We have been able to fund a rapid response network, so there's Know Your Rights trainings, there is a rapid response hotline.
And unlike the protests we've seen across the Bay Area over the past few days, tonight's vigil ending peacefully. Organizers hope this will continue moving forward.
I think it's important right now with what's going on, the idea that we're having these different spaces. People are going to protest in different ways, and so I think we're trying to create space daytime. This is families, right? We're trying to promote that things should be peaceful.
Organizers say they will continue to provide safe spaces for folks to protest in Oakland, including a large protest that's set to take place this Saturday in downtown Oakland. In Oakland, Pete Suratos, NBC Bay Area News.
One of the primary reasons people are protesting is the detainment of undocumented migrants at immigration courthouses. In San Francisco and Concord, tempers flaring today after ICE agents detained more people. We counted 4 people in San Francisco who were let out of the building in handcuffs by ICE agents. One of them told us his name is Victor and said he's from Guatemala. When word started getting out about these detentions, a crowd of demonstrators gathered to protest. And then tempers flared. Several people seen here gathering around that minivan right there, used by federal agents trying to transport detainees. By the afternoon, judges suspended all additional hearings for the day. A lot of tension in Concord as well. This also at the immigration court. Just like San Francisco, as soon as people heard ICE agents were detaining people as they left their immigration hearings, protesters showed up. We spoke to a family member of a man who was detained.
He fears for his life. How can they do this? Why are they so unfair?
Immigration attorneys who were present at the hearing say nearly all of the people detained are asylum seekers afraid to return to their home countries.